Part 1. To boldly go where no one has gone before. The Tyranny of Carnality. Back in the late 1980s, I seldom missed an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was the one and only television show that I actually watched. Now, for Gen Z folks, television was something you watched for entertainment before internet streaming came along. Like many others, I appreciated that in the 24th century, mankind had somehow thrown off the shackles of 20th century science and had learned to harness such things as space-warping star drives and matter-to-energy transportation technology. It made the future sound exciting, especially as the latter part of the 20th century seemed hopelessly mired in the myriad problems which became all too clear during the 20th century. Fast forward to the brave new world of the 21st century. We seem to be caught within a vicious OODA loop where technology continues to increase and evolve in rapid leaps and bounds, while societal problems appear to be made worse by technology rather than better. That wasn't what was promised by science as the digital revolution hit afterburner status in the late 1990s. So what is the problem? Actually, I think there are at least two problems. The first is that a critical mass of scientists and mathematicians have become ideologically driven. They are just like anyone else in that they always have personal, political, and ideological opinions, but somewhere along the line, their devotion to those opinions has replaced their drive for scientific truth. Ideology drives their science, and that can have serious implications for the world. Secondly, and most sadly, a critical mass of scientists and mathematicians have graduated from our university programs using only 5 of the 6 human senses that God gifted them with. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, you say. We only have 5 human senses. Well, no, that's not quite correct. We have 5 carnal senses, and we have 1 spiritual sense, for a total of 6 human senses. And the fact that a critical mass of scientists in a number of fields only use 5 of those senses is having disastrous implications for the world. Now, how do I know that many scientists are only using 5 of the 6 senses that God gifts us with? Well, for example, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9 tells us, "Eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him." And then in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10, "But God has revealed them to us through his Spirit, for the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God." And then most seriously, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, 14, "But the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, nor can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned." Now those who reject God do not receive the things of the Spirit of God because they will consider them foolish. God does not waste his time or spirit with them. Look at what physicist Sean Carroll has to say about life and the soul. Speaking about the merits of core theory, which is the field theory of everything in the cosmos, he says, "There is a profound implication of accepting core theory. Namely, there is no life after death. We each have a finite time as living creatures, and when it's over, it's over." Now imagine tucking your children into bed at night and telling them to strive harder tomorrow to get everything they can get, because once they're dead, It's all over. And what about the moral and ethical concerns related to that type of thinking? Consider the example of Robert N. Spolsky, who is a world-renowned professor of neurological sciences and neurosurgery at Stanford. He teaches that we have no free will. Eons of biological processes and environmental influences determine what our decisions are going to be. It is the ultimate form of biology, is destiny. Now, while he has every right to teach that if Stanford continues to pay him to do so, he has a much more lucrative gig for his teachings. Dr. Spolsky also works as a much-in-demand expert witness for defense attorneys, where he teaches juries that defendants who may have murdered people are not responsible for their actions because brain injury, historic biological processes, and other environmental factors are the cause of their actions, which means what they did is not their fault, and so it is cruel and inhumane to punish them for what they did. Now ponder the implications of that for a while. Science did not used to be this way. Copernicus, Galileo, Newton, Schrödinger, Bohm were either religious believers or at least had a sense that spirituality was a certain and sure part of human reality. This disparity between those who think and influence the world with their 5 senses versus those who use all 6 senses is getting to be more serious. As AI begins to encroach more and more into traditional human real estate, the notion that it might become a conscious entity cannot be dismissed out of hand. Before the 5 sense folks unleash that on us, we might pray that the 6 sense folks can tell us something of the true implications of that evolution and when it might occur. Are there actually some 6 sense scientists out there working on that? That's what we'll discuss in part 2 of this essay.